you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. So how's
sorry I'm a
everything
little late.
going?
I was cleaning my 37 footer came back yesterday late. And I was cleaning it because they went to the beach and apparently they just didn't feel like cleaning up their own sand. So
That's the
yeah.
worst.
Mhm. Ugh. So can I ask you a quick question? Have you ever had, and I just need to know this from an experienced person, have you ever had somebody leave a plunger behind in your RV bathroom? And like, I looked it up and it said that using a plunger on an RV toilet could actually damage the seals. So I saw a plunger in there, I threw it away, and then I'm like, why would they do that?
Yeah, I haven't, but like I have seen people talk about using plungers and it's like you're not supposed to do that in an RV. Um,
I mean, I never
I mean,
said don't use a plunger on my RV because I didn't think I had to say that.
yeah. I mean, did they ever reach out to you about any issues with the toilet or?
No, this was the renter that I went on that your site, the and stated that they claim there's water, like that it leaked when I have a
Oh,
leak
that's
test done.
right.
It's this guy. Yeah, and then I go in there to clean it and I see a plunger in the bathroom and I'm like, why would they put a plunger in the bathroom? So they obviously clogged it and then thought,
Yeah.
let's use a plunger to instead of they called me to tell me that the camper leaked, but didn't call me to say, hey, we clogged the toilet. How do we unclog it? Ugh. So I was
Yeah,
just
that's
curious
always
if you knew
fun.
how bad the damage could be, but I'll have my husband look at it when he gets home. I'm just
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be too concerned if, it just happened the one time.
time.
Just keep an eye on it. But yeah, renters are just so much
I love
fun.
most of them, but yeah, the ones that like act like they know what they're doing are probably the ones who have no clue. And
Yeah.
I literally, I should send you a link. I literally spent months creating a digital guidebook through a company called Enzo Connect, and it's
Mhm.
ready. All seven of my campers that I have right now, they all have digital guidebooks, and I literally tell people anything that you're now I have to put on there. Don't plunge my toilets with a plunger, but I literally tell them like any questions you have if you can't get in touch with me first or even before you call me, just go on the guidebook. Everything is
Yeah.
there. Like literally, the guy called me and to ask me, this the same renter. He called me to ask me how to use the outside speakers. I'm like, did you look at my guidebook? I mean, it's all right there. I mean, I literally have fluorescent, like it's black writing with fluorescent backing that says speaker zones. One inside, two bedroom, three outside.
Oh my God.
And he called me anyway, but he didn't call me to tell me that he clogged the toilet.
Hmm. I would maybe like, do you have a separate number besides your personal number for
Yeah,
the
I have a
business?
work number that I only give out to people. I don't give them my cell phone.
Yeah, I would like put a voicemail like saying like if you're having any technical issues, please look at the guidebook. You know, once you've done that, feel free to give me a call back. Or like if they
Um,
text you, like have an automatic text message back, like
right.
with the link to the guidebook or something.
That's a good
And
idea.
yeah, and like not like accept their calls until they leave a message and are like, oh hey, like I tried to figure this out and couldn't do it, but you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I eventually I'm gonna figure that out because it's like I'm spending about $1,000 a year on this guidebook for all of these campers. And if people aren't going to use it, which I know most of them are,
yeah.
because I have gotten great feedback from a lot of people, it's just this guy was acted like he knew everything. He's super smart. Granted, he pulled it. He came here with an F-150. And at first, I was like, an F-150 to pull almost 10,000 pounds. Like, how is that possible? It didn't
Mm-mm.
sag. I mean, he had some air suspension in it. He asked my husband for a air compressor. He filled it up to, I think he said 80 pounds, I heard him say. And we hooked up the camper. We helped him hook it up. And it was like straight across the board. So
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't sagging. His truck wasn't sagging. I think he knew what he was talking about, at least with his truck. So
Yeah.
I felt comfortable with him leaving. He pulled out of the driveway. I mean, we have tree on one side and a mailbox on the other side, and he like steered clear of both of them. Inexperienced drivers usually don't turn wide, and then
Mm-hmm.
like I would have seen signs if he was truly inexperienced. So, and then he's like, I drove through some crazy rainstorm, and we got inside and the camper started leaking, and I'm like, I don't know, but I mean, we're gonna go out there with a sprayer today, and we're gonna spray around the window and just
Yeah.
see if something crazy happens. Anyway, let's start our phone call instead of talking about my crappy renter.
Uh yeah. So Did you get like a couple more consignments since we last talked? I feel like you were at 5 before.
Yeah, so I originally had 3 of my own, and then I had 2 consignments, a little
Mhm.
pod and the 27-foot Gulfstream that I have. And now I have a fifth wheel um that I hired a driver, and he had a fifth wheel camper and asked to consign it with me.
Oh,
So
nice.
um and I only use him like once in a blue moon when my husband can't help me, because as you know, that cuts into my profit. I have to pay him, and
Hmm.
I don't have to pay my husband. So
Yeah.
um so I got that fifth wheel, and then I had a woman. I told you, I don't know if I told you how I'm doing this. I was sending out letters, first of all, to people as I was driving down the road and I saw that they had campers. And then I started going on Facebook Marketplace and looking for people who were selling them, asking them if they want to
Hmm.
consign. And then it was also, my mail lady was giving me addresses to people that had campers in their driveways and stuff, so that I could
Nice.
send out letters. Yeah, she was awesome. And from there, I got a 2019 Puma, like a Forest River Puma that has like a nice fireplace in it. It's really cute. But they don't have a truck anymore, so they asked me to store it here at my house, so it stays with
Mhm.
me all the time. And then I'm missing one. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I just got a pop-up.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and I've been like hoping to get one of those. So that lady was like, I really can't have it in my driveway right now because there's no room. So could you keep it at your house? And it's more or less like people are basically getting free storage out of me, which I don't really like. But if it's here, I get to control where it goes, when it comes
Yeah.
back, how fast I can clean it, what I can put into it, any add-ons that they choose, I can put them inside. So it's actually a plus for me to have it stored here. So I'm not really
Yeah.
complaining.
Uh, We did that as well. Just during the winter, like I would charge them storage. So they
I
could
do have that in my
either,
consignment agreement. Now
yeah.
I have $200 storage, winter storage fee, and then I put like an asterisk subject to change, because I didn't know what the appropriate fee would be. I mean, they could take it to probably an outside storage lot and spend like 600, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we did lower too. I think we were around like 300 or 350. But I mean, if it's already on property, it kind of guarantees that they're going to do it again next summer. So,
Right.
it kind of helps you out as well. Um, but I mean, like, what issues are you having with consignments that you had questions about, or
Well,
getting more consignments, or what is it?
I'm pretty like, I think I just so I went on to I did one of those meeting calls, and I forget the woman's name. And she was
Oh,
really going to help.
Tammy.
Yeah, I think so. Yes. She was really supposed to be helping with, I think, listings or whatever, but somebody had asked, the guy that had joined had asked about consignments. And then, so we rolled with that and we started talking about consignments. And she actually sent me like the Fireside consignment agreement, and
Mhm.
mine's a lot longer. So yours seems kind of like short, sweet, and to the point. Whereas, because I didn't want to get screwed over, I literally
Yeah.
have like everything down to like, your camper can't have water damage. I require them to get a leak test, a pressurized leak test done. And I require the camper to be inspected. And if it's not inspected, I'll take it to get inspected, but you're paying the bill for that. I'm not. Um,
Mhm.
if you can't take it to get leak tested, I will take it to get leak tested, and I'll pay for the gas and stuff, but you're paying for the leak test itself, type thing. Then I had a really crazy guy at call me up. Well, I actually sent him a little skit, like I was sending everybody, because he was selling his fifth wheel and I really wanted it. And it was cute. And it was a toy hauler. And I'm looking for a toy hauler because then I could buy a golf cart and I could start renting that with my camp.
Mm.
That opens doors for me, like kayaks, and like even down the line, if we get like a little four-wheeler or something, like we can add on stuff that I want to add on. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't have a toy hauler yet. But anyway, this guy had one. I sent him a message. Then he called me and we were chatting for probably a couple of months. I even went 4 hours away to meet him, because he wanted to invest $65,000 in my business and buy some RVs and consign them with me.
Mhm.
And then I think, well, first of all, I started getting like bad vibes from him. But besides that, he was like, I found a toy hauler that I loved. I sent him pictures of it. I told him I put a deposit on it. He told me that all I had to do, and then he would, pay the rest of it, and da 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 da. And then he got mad at me because I put a deposit on it without asking him first. But I was like, you told me I could do that.
Oh,
And
geez.
then he said, well, I could get that same exact unit $1,000 less in a year newer. And I'm like, no, you can't. That's a really good deal. I'm like, it comes with the hitch system. It comes with all the sewer hoses. You don't have to buy anything for it. It comes with everything on the inside of it too. They had it already like stocked completely, and they were giving
Mhm.
you the whole thing. And it was a 2019 Gray Wolf toy hauler for 17,000.
Oh, wow, that's a really good price.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And guys, can you give baby Elliot toys and stuff? Kind of jump around, act like a frog, make him happy. And then so he got mad at me, and then he was like, "Well, why would I want a hitch? I don't want a hitch." And I'm like, all the campers have to come with a hitch. I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
taking this hitch off this camper to put it on that one. They all have to come with a hitch. And he was just like, oh, okay. And then he got mad at me for a couple other things. And I was just like, you know what? I don't think what I'm doing is what you really want to invest in. You probably want to go elsewhere and invest your money. And
Yeah.
I haven't spoke to him since. So I'm okay. I can't grow too big too fast. I actually grew kind of bigger than I thought I was going to grow this year. I'm gonna shut my door. Hang on. I was only expecting to get like 1 or 2 consignments and then have like the total of 5 campers this year. That was my game plan because I didn't want to have too many, get bombarded, not know what to do.
Yeah.
Then when I got the 2019 Puma, I was like, and the bookings started coming in. Like, I mean, I have a decent amount of bookings where I have like, because we live near Pocono Raceway. So there's a race weekend. I have almost all my campers booked for that. I partnered up with 2 campgrounds in my area. One is Landers River Trips, which is on the Delaware. They have 3 campgrounds and own like 70 acres of the Delaware. They do like river trips with rafting and canoes and stuff. And he was going to put campers on there for people to have like cabin type, living campers already there, but he doesn't want to deal with the maintenance, the wear and tear, and the taking care of them. So I was like an add-on bonus when he found me. But he found me because a guy rents out his one whole campground for a 3-day Jewish festival, who was the one who got us talking to begin with, because that guy rented out all my campers for the Jewish festival. And that opened up doors for me because now they're sending my information to all the other people who are having festivals. But I will tell you that my prices are going to start increasing as soon as I find out there's a festival, because I gave them all like discounts for renting all of my RVs. And one woman spilled a bong. I think you might have seen my
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she spilled a bong or a hookah or whatever inside the pod and destroyed. I mean, I don't know how it went through the mattress pad, but they're supposed to be waterproof. It went right through it. It destroyed the mattress, and I charged him over $1,000 because I need to replace the mattress, the bedding, the pillows is all destroyed, and plus the pod reeked, so I had to air it out for a few days. I'm still trying to spray it clean. Thankfully, it's just the pod, and it wasn't like my 37 footer, because I don't even know what I would have done, but. It's still a really crappy situation. So I'm like, you know what? Festivals are not getting discounts anymore. And I don't even think I'm going to supply like the bedding and the linens for festivals. I think I'm going to make them completely separate. And it's going to be like a bare rental for them, because I showed up to pick up my rentals, and I'm seeing people coming from other directions with my pillows and bringing them to my units. And I was like, they took my pillows. They took my pillows. I can't believe they took my pillows. So I'm like, John's like, my husband was like, next year, we're not bringing anything. We're not supplying a thing with these. Every festival is not getting anything. And that's just going to be a generic festival rule for me. If are you with a festival? Yes, I am. Just so you know, the unit's going to come bare. And that's that, because I'm not taking that chance again. I mean, I could have lost all my pillows. My pillows aren't cheap, okay? Granted, I buy them on Black Friday, but they're really good pillows from JCPenney's. And if I have to buy them outright regularly, they're $30. And I'm not going to lose my pillows because somebody wanted to have a pillow, have a pillow, have a pillow.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Oh my God.
Right. So, so that opened up doors. And then the other campground is also on the Delaware. It's actually not really a campground. It's an RV park where people normally like come in and stay there overnight when they're on their way to their destination. But she also has a business on the premises where she does weddings called the Riverview. It's really beautiful. Like there's almost like a restructured barn that they just made into a huge building where they host weddings right on the water. And the owner said that it would be amazing to be able to have my campers there for weddings, so that she can steal the business away from the hotels and have her guests stay right on her facility. And then she said that she would do a breakfast then in the morning for all the people that stayed behind after the wedding, which then in turn makes her more money. So that's how I partnered up with them. Yeah. So that was really exciting. But again, so now they're both like, you need to get more campers. And I'm like, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I want more campers right now. I'm scared to go bigger.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, we got up to 20 units. And and my husband and I were both doing it full time. And I mean, during the busy season, you know, we were all working all the time. My husband was probably gone like 12 hours a day delivering. But we had a lot of difficulty. We had a couple drivers that would help us on the weekends. But we did have difficulty finding drivers in our area that could help us out. But I think one of our issues is we lived about, like, we're in a very rural area. So our house was like about an hour away from like a lot of the places that we delivered to. So to have to pay, someone to come to our house to pick up the unit, then deliver it, and then, you know, just that added expense
Yeah.
of having them to come to our house first got expensive.
My drivers are 10 minutes away from me, which is
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
The two that I hired. One is like 15 minutes up the road, and the other one is 10 minutes this way. And the campgrounds, see, I live by Lake Wallenpaupack, which is a huge tourist attraction.
Yeah.
And people are normally going to Promised Land, which is 20 minutes away. They're going to Otter Lake, another 25 minutes. And all of this is around these drivers as well, because they're not far from me. So I have at least that to back me up.
Yeah, I mean, what are your delivery rates right now?
So I mimicked what you kind of did, but
Okay.
I have it at, this is a crazy number, but RV Share really dicked me over. I don't like using them. So I got them to lower their commission rate for me because I complained. I'm like, guys, like I hit like 20, I guess I hit $23,000 with them, and I'm not at 25 yet, so I can't be fleet status until I'm at 25. But I've been at the last 3 years, I've been at 25% commission, and like taking 25% of my delivery fee when I wasn't even charging that much to begin with, I was like losing money. So everybody's always like, can you give me a deal? Can you give me a deal? And I'm like, no, I can't. Our Share takes 25% of my profits. I can't give you anything. And I know I probably shouldn't say that to people, but it's true. So I got them to go down to 22%, which is nice, but it's still a lot of money to take off of the top. And then, you know, with it, when it's a consignment, I explained to the consignees that if it goes on platform, then the platform takes their commission, and then I give you your 50% off of what I'm making off after the commission. And then they look at that and they're like, wow, that's not really that much. I'm like, no, it's not. But that leads people to come to me directly the next year or the next trip or whatever, because then they know who I am. They've gotten my service already. Hopefully they liked it, and then they want to come back to it. But I do, so because of what RV Share did, I do $10 a mile on RV Share, because that's the way that it makes sense for me with what I have to pay my drivers. And on my website, I do, because RV Share only charges one way. They don't charge round trip. So technically it's $5 a mile, but I'm doing it round trip on RV Share by just doing $10 a mile because they only do it one way. And on my website, I have it like staggered right now at $4.17 a mile, because it also includes, I do a huge setup. So the fee is also for my setup, because I pull out the outdoor mat, I lay it out, I do a 6-foot table, a grill, I pull out the camping chairs, grilling accessories. Then I go inside and I take out all the kitchen stuff, and I put the Keurig out, and I put a coffee bar out for people with creamers and sugars. And trust me, I know I'm not going to be able to do this when I get pregnant, but for right now, I'm trying to make a name for myself. So I'm doing all this, but that leads me to where you talked about your 20 rentals. I have rentals this summer, like for instance, Pocono Raceway. Pocono Raceway is an hour from my house, and I have 5 units going there. Luckily, 2 are pickups. The people are coming to pick them up and take them themselves, but 3 are delivery. If any more go to delivery, so now my husband will take one. We'll have Al take one, and then we'll have Andrew take one. But the 4th one, I'm going to have to drive all the way back home and then take that one all the way back out, which is fine. I mean, that's what they're paying me for. But I have my drop off time at 3:00. So now what do? You can't possibly give all these people their campers at exactly 3:00. So I'm like, that's the new spot where I've hit that. I'm like, what do I do?
We definitely like stagger pickup time. So if someone's picking it up themselves, we try to do it in the morning to get them out of the way, so we have time to do the deliveries like in the afternoon after the campgrounds allow deliveries. So like anyone that's actually coming to pick up the camper, we try to do like 10 o'clock in the morning or something like that. to get those out of the way. Then, there's times like where my husband would like deliver 3 units in a day. So we would try to stagger them, like where one was at 1 o'clock, one was at 4 o'clock. And there was days he was doing it at 7 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow. And people didn't
Or
complain about that? The fact that they didn't get the rental the whole day that they paid for
I
it?
mean, we had this one person Labor Day weekend. She rents from us each year and she threw a fit. But I mean, we would tell them ahead of time. So like usually the week before we book, we'd like schedule out all the drivers. And if there was a lot on one day, we'd, schedule accordingly with multiple people. But sometimes like if it was a last minute rental or something, either when they were renting, we'd, give them a heads up, be like, we don't have any more drivers for that day. If you rent, it's going to be delivered later in the day. So
Okay.
they'd okay it that way. Or the week before, we just say, this is the amount of drivers we have that day. We can deliver at 7 o'clock. Or sometimes we would, like they would be willing to book the night before at the campgrounds. And we'd set it up early for them. Or sometimes we would book the night before at the campground because it was cheaper for us to do that and deliver it than to pay for someone to deliver it for us.
Okay, then how do you go through your operational walkthroughs? You're not there for them.
Yeah, we don't, not like, I'd say probably 50% we were there for. So we have an online check-in form where they have to go in and go through everything. And like sign off on the condition and everything of the camper. If they were a total newbie, like we would try to be there to walk them through. But most
Okay.
of our people had, were familiarized with campers or they were camping with people that, knew
help
about
them.
campers. So they really didn't need the whole walkthrough. And most of them were full hookup too. So we had everything all set up. They really didn't have to do much.
Okay. So
Um,
now, like the full hookup though, I still explain to my renters that even though it's a full hookup, I have your tanks closed and
mhm.
that you need to open them. I don't know if you guys do that or not, that you need to open
Yeah,
them
we
every
do.
2 days and let them flush out and then close them up and let them fill back up again, because otherwise I tell them they're going to create a poop pyramid and then I'm going to be stuck like cleaning that and I just don't want to. So,
Yeah.
um, and then I also have like a flush. Most of my units have that black water flush thing, and I require my customers. This might be really shitty, but I require my customers, if they're doing full hookup and not paying like any dump fee at all, that they need to use the black flush. And I mean, it's real simple. All you do is
Yeah.
take the water out one hose, put it in the other hole, and then turn it on and let it fill up a little bit, and then flush it. I mean, and then I also have that in my guidebook. So,
Yeah, we haven't ever made them do that, but I mean, it's as simple as, a phone call, or you could even do a walkthrough video, post it on YouTube and then send them a link,
my
doing a
guidebook. That's
virtual
how my guidebook is
walkthrough.
actually set up. It's set up
Okay.
through YouTube. So I have my own YouTube channel
Mhm.
and I have all of my videos on there under each camper name. So the playlist is a camper name. And
Yeah.
then I have to embed those videos into my guidebooks. And that's exactly how they get the information from me. They literally watch little video skits on how to do everything inside the camper.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it took months to do this.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, so that I do have that already set up.
Mhm.
And I do have a video on how to flush it. I even like took pictures of everything, and on my iPhone, I have like I drew little arrows to things, and I put little text boxes underneath of them so that under pictures they knew what I was pointing to.
Yeah.
I took pictures of like how the sewer drains are set up and pictures of the convenience panel on the inside. And I have everything in the campers mostly labeled. I have a label on the toilet saying no exceptions, don't flush anything but your waste and, RV
Mhm.
toilet paper that I supply. I have a little tags under the water pump and little tags under the awning, just so people see what everything is. I was going to label them a little bit more, but I'm waiting to see who complains about something not labeled first to see if I need to do it more. I'm hoping that there's not that many drawers in a camper, so I'm hoping they could just kind of figure it out on their own.
Yeah, I mean, we never labeled anything and never had any issues. Like
Complaints.
once in a while, maybe we'd get a call, asking where something was, but it was mostly because like I never caught that it never returns back, like
Okay.
they're like, oh, where's the broom? And I'm like, it should be there. And I just hadn't noticed that, someone took it out.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but I don't, I say this nicely, but like, I feel like maybe you need to like let go some control of things. Like, do you find like, yeah, I know it's hard because like, for instance, like because we sold our franchise
I
and
noticed that the
yeah,
RV share isn't yours anymore. It's somebody named Mike. And I was like,
mhm,
and I found it because I was like kind of looking for camper price ranges for a new camper. And then I saw this new RV share person, Mike, and I click on it. And then I was like, wow, look at all the reviews they have. And I looked down and they said, Stacy and Garth are great. And I'm like, wait a minute.
yeah. So they're driving me nuts. Like they don't do things the way I did them, and like I feel like they're not providing like good enough customer service and things like that. And like obviously I'm still involved,
Right.
but I'm just trying to sit back and like, let them do their thing. And my husband and I, we've actually thought of opening another franchise just because we're like missing that influx of money
Oh,
each week.
yeah.
um and just like I feel like no one could do it like we did it, like everyone loved us.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, you guys had tons of reviews on RV
Yeah,
Share alone, and I don't know if do you guys book off? Like, can they? Because they can go on like, because you use Wheelbase, right? So they can go off
yeah,
kind of off platform and book with you technically,
yeah.
right?
We had like a lot of repeat renters would book directly with us, and then we were in Outdoorsy too and would get a few. But in our region, RV share is huge. Like everyone knows RV share, everyone found us through RV share. So I would say that was probably like 70% of our rentals,
Okay.
and then the other 30% were usually like direct bookings. Um, but yeah, I mean, my husband's very laid back, so that helped me. I'm like a complete control freak. But
That's me.
yeah, like
Um,
I can tell how stressed you are, and like I feel for you because I've been there. So
I just don't know how much like so because I started this company completely on my own, not knowing a
mhm,
thing. Like I didn't know you guys existed. So I was like, all right. So I Googled, rental agreement forms for RVs, and I made my own rental agreement based on. I mean, I literally spent hours looking at different like samples on the websites and just trying to figure out which stuff I wanted to incorporate in my own. And I want to make sure I don't get sued, so I need to make sure I add this.
yeah,
I don't want to add that, and whatever. Like all my forms, I've literally created from scratch from me for hours and hours and hours of thinking, you know what, I need a form for this, and I should probably have a form for that. And
mhm,
then, I bought the sign now before I realized like Enzo Connect now does an e-sign for me. So my rental agreement is right in with the guidebook. Before
yep,
they can even see the guidebook, they have to enter in their details. They have to pay their security deposit if it hasn't been collected on Lodify, my website. And then they have to um sign my rental agreement, and then they can view my guidebook. So is they have steps they have to take before they can even see anything.
yep,
And then sometimes I have to like send them a message, hey, you didn't finish, verifying yourself. Oh, and I also require my license. So I have
mhm,
it's auto host, I think it's called. So they do like a ID verification for me because I'm booking direct. And when I'm booking direct, I don't have RV share and outdoorsy doing my ID verifications for me. And
yeah,
I need to make sure that they A, don't have a suspended license, B, they have a license, and C, they are who they really say they are because
mhm.
I'm
Is
giving
that
them
an additional fee that you pay as well?
so the auto host, it's just like kind of on wheels. So I did end up getting wheelbase, but I can't uh I'm still actually going through like the tutorials of it.
Mhm,
So they canceled out my outdoorsy kind of. I guess outdoorsy customers will still book, but they'll kind of book on wheelbase. I'm not really sure how that
yeah,
works. But I could have gotten a plugin and gotten WordPress and done everything like that. But it took so long for me to finally get somebody to listen to me that I was already like in over my head with Logify, and I'm with them for a year. Like I've already paid for a year
oh,
subscription.
okay,
So I figured this winter when like
yeah,
it's pretty shut down, I'm gonna try to reevaluate where I want to go because I love Wheelbase. I do love like all their functions and everything they offer. I can't get that with Logify, but I've recreated Logify to work for me.
mhm,
And there's another girl, her website is deliveredrv.com. That's on your site. She uses Logify. I went on her website to see how she does the mileage, because I'm like, I'm just charging people $100 for every 50 or every 10 miles because I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
She does the quantity and she puts like a 500 in there, and then one quantity is 1 mile, two quantities is 2 miles, and that's how she
Okay.
did it. So I was like, oh, that's so cool. So I rearranged my website to mimic that. I stole it
Oh,
from her.
nice.
Yeah, so it works. But I don't know where I was going with this. I don't remember what we were talking about. Um, but we were talking about me letting go a little bit. I don't,
Yeah.
like I said, because I created everything myself, I don't know what
Hmm.
I should be doing myself under the fees that I charge and what I should be requiring the renters to do. I mean,
Hmm.
is making them flush their own tanks a little too much? I I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, we never did it, but I mean, I don't think we would even like, I'd have to check with my husband because he dealt with all that. I don't think he necessarily even flushed them for every single rental. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, see, then that's the part where I'm like over. I guess I'm micromanaging my my tanks because I don't want them to be clogged. Then I'm worried like this guy over here says I don't need to pay a dump fee because I'm not going to use the toilet, and then I get it back and there's a bunch of shit in it, and I'm like, what do you mean you didn't use the toilet? Yes, you did use the toilet, and then no, I never used that toilet,
oh
and
my
so I have
God.
to make sure before I send it that the water all comes out clear in there, or else I have some guy trying to get one over on me.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
don't
maybe
know.
start by, making a list of like everything that you do. Um, and then kind of like do a time audit, like how much time you're spending on each thing and kind of see, where you can maybe delegate some of the items or some of the items may not need to be done at all or possibly like on a weekly basis instead of daily. Like, do you time block a lot of things? Like, I know it's hard with the kids, like,
Yeah. I mean,
because
I did just start. So you had told me that you guys usually like the prep fee that you charge is 125. So I was charging an $85 prep fee before you and I spoke the first time, and I jumped it up to 125 on RV share because specifically they were taking 25% of it anyway.
yeah,
Um, and then direct on my website, I still have it at 125. When customers ask about it, I tell them that it's not a cleaning fee to clean up after them. It is a prep and sanitize fee. It's
yeah,
what supplies. I mean, I put, salt and pepper, the coffee bar, the toilet paper. I do all the linens, the towels, the pillows, the blankets, you name it, the comforters, they're all in there. And I have to wash all that when you're
hmm,
done using it. So I explained to them like it's a prep fee to prep the rental for the next rental. So I'm literally taking everything you've already used and I'm washing it. I'm restocking the coffee. I'm
yeah,
doing all this stuff. And it's not, and then I give them the pods. Those toilet pods are not cheap.
yeah.
And some people don't understand that you're only supposed to use one every now and then. You're not supposed to dump the whole pack down there.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
yeah. So, I mean, I've only been in business for 3 years, and the things that I've seen so far, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I even knowing nothing about campers from the beginning would have never done what you just did. Anyway, um, they just so I mimicked that to let them know, but I feel like some people were taking advantage of that 125 and thinking it was for me to clean. So I actually made
Mhm.
a list on Canva. It was a checklist and it said, if you want, it says, how do I get my full security deposit back? And then it literally says, like, you need to empty the trash out of the trash cans, you need to sweep the floors, any spills, you need to clean up yourself.
Yeah.
Um, if there's no smoking, like in red, I put no smoking, or you
Yeah.
put your security deposit. I put that if there's any pet damage, it could be a fee anywhere from $500 and up, depending on what's wrong. Um, and then like there's a skit in there that pets are an additional fee. Make sure you paid ahead of time, because I still get people that I show up to deliver the camper and they're there and they've got a dog and I'm like, you didn't pay for that, and they're like, oh, I didn't
Hmm.
know I had to. It's everywhere. I literally have it in bold letters and capital bold letters, and they still like, oh, I didn't know I had to.
Yeah. They just try to get one over on you.
Yeah. And so anyway, since I've handed out that checklist, things have gone better. I mean, I literally
Hmm.
put in there, like, if you paid the dump fee, ignore this section, but if you
Yeah.
didn't pay the dump fee, then you're required to dump your own tanks and flush them. Even when you're at a full site hookup, if you're not paying for the dump fee, you're required to dump your tanks and flush them. If I have to flush them, then I'm just going to charge you a fee for that. And the fee for me to flush the tanks was $50. The fee for me to dump the tanks at a campground that has a dumping station is $100. And then if I have to dump it at my house because you went off the grid with it and didn't have a place
Mm,
to dump it, then it's $150 because now I've got to hook up the sewer transporter to it. I've got to,
yeah.
do all that myself. And my sewer transporters are 21 gallons. So I obviously there could be more than 21 gallons in your tank. So I've got to go
Mhm.
dump it, got to come back in my septic. I got to flush the rest of it out, dump it. Then I got to bring it back. Then I got to flush. It's a lot of
Yeah,
work. So I
yeah,
charge more for it. And the reason why I charge so much, to be honest with you, is because I'm hoping that people figure out how to dump out their tanks themselves. I
yeah,
mean,
I hear
that's
ya.
the plan there. Um,
Hmm.
and then I started doing bear rentals. That fifth wheel that I told you about, because it's at the guy's house.
Hmm.
I'm not putting all my stuff in it. I'm just
Yeah.
not doing it. So that's listed as a bear rental and it's not renting
Oh,
because
really?
my service has been, all my campers here that are at my house are full service.
Hmm.
So I told he also, the owner wants 160 to 175 a night for it because it's a fifth wheel, but
Yeah.
it's a 32-foot fifth wheel. He um changed it, modified it.
Yeah.
So the couch is not in there anymore. It's a rocking couch. So it's not a bed. And
Hmm.
in order to get that rocking couch in there, he squished the dinette seats together. He unbolted them off the floor and moved them together so they can't be a bed. So it's just the queen bed and then two bunks in the back that go like corner to corner like this on the
Okay.
top. And then the bottom is like an open space on the one side and a couple of drawers on the right side. So it can't even be advertised as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It can't be advertised as 8. It's advertised as a 4 sleeper because,
Yeah, and
you
people aren't
know,
gonna go for
and
that.
no, and nobody really wants that. I mean, yeah, it has the high ceilings and it's roomy, but it only sleeps 4. So who's gonna pay 175 to sleep 4 people or 2 people in a fifth wheel when they could get my 37 footer for 169 and have 11 people in it?
Hmm.
And I tried to tell him that he didn't want to listen to me. That's his price and he doesn't want to go down on it. So it's eventually I'm going to pull it off my website and only have it on the platforms because it's taking up a listing space that I could probably put somebody else in there that will actually rent because they're going to listen to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But that is my new thing. My new thing is that I'm going to have full service rentals and bear rentals. And
Hmm.
eventually down the line, most of it will probably become not bare, but limited. And then if you want the linens, it's going to be extra money. And if you want the
Yeah.
outdoor camping package with the grill and the table and the chairs and the mat, it's going to be extra money because if I get bigger, I keep buying all these grills for all these campers. And I keep
It's a
buying
lot.
tables. Yeah. And I keep buying outdoor mats. And I mean, the outdoor mats are like $100 to $200, depending on what mat you
Hmm.
choose. The camping chairs, I buy cheap ones at Walmart, but they're $7 a chair.
Yeah.
And Susie wants 10 of them and Sally wants 5 of them. And next thing you know, I've got 50 freaking camping chairs at my house, which is why I'm getting a shipping container, by the way. And we're putting a shipping container in the driveway next to the pad for the
Oh my
campers because
gosh.
all of this is in my basement. My kids lost their playground downstairs. It's gone. Really bad. They have no place to play with their toys.
Oh man.
So um the only thing, like, I know you wanted to talk about me joining the franchise, but I talked to my husband about it and I don't really know at this point. You can't offer me more customers because
Yeah, you're
I'm
maxed
already really
out.
booked and I don't have the consignments to even pull in more customers yet.
Hmm.
And that, oh, we're gonna